lot of people like to accuse men like me of fueling this gender warfare. And I always tell people there is no gender warfare. What we have is dating and relationship fraud, scammery. And I'm like price control. That's right, consumer protection, especially for young men. Because I've got boys. I've raised them, educated them, and invested a lot of money in their education. And what they're trying to do, because we live in a gynocentric environment, and we've had generations of young men that have been raised in environments without a masculine role model, without strong fathers, is try to get young men to do more, pay more for worse. Worse. That means many of these women have been ran through, ramrodded, bought into feminism, got into sexual liberation. Could you imagine that? There used to be a time, I'm a Gen Xer, right? You go back to the 90s. And I know a lot of you brothers too. You know, I know they like to come and shame men like, or try to silence it. You guys are, I'm not a part of any affiliation. I'm consumer protection when it comes to the young men. Yes, I'm defensive, but I'm also protective of the young ladies. Those that are want to learn and those that are willing to listen to proper masculine leadership and not listen to these women that have mismanaged their youth, especially these old burnouts out here. They didn't got their box blown out and now they're trying to set you up for failure, have you out here for 10, 15 years getting ran through. And I always tell the young ladies, protect your body like the man you want to marry protects his last name. Don't be out here on this sexual liberation crap. These old women have these women before you, encouraging that shit, have already been destroyed mentally. Many of them are on meds. There used to be a time, and I know a lot of you brothers can remember, when there used to be a situation where men that men have 20 times more testosterone level than women. So there are dudes that consumed, they doubled down on the 304s, they would consume women at 11 o'clock at night. But they wouldn't be caught dead in the daylight with chicken heads. The women would call you out, they'd be like, a peaceful life. You look at you, you were you were that chicken head. Ha! Look at you, you dirty bastard. And I'd be like, oh, they'd be like, oh shit. Damn it. These women are calling me out. Dudes calling me out. Women used to call each other out for being chicken heads. Like women, like there was a complete distinction between the girls that were like, 304s and chicken heads and the good quality sisters. And women would maintain that balance. But we've lost that shit. That shit is all gone now. Social media especially changed it. Feminism and all these years, the gynocentric environment now is merged between the good women and the bad women. And many of the women have joined forces with the chicken heads. Now, what is good and what's bad? What is that nowadays? I've seen chicken heads talking greasy on the internet like they some high value women. These burnouts and chicken heads talking. I'm like, what is this? I woke up as a Gen Xer in the Twilight Zones. And many of you sisters, you know I'm telling the truth. Because you were around when we used to call them chicken heads. And they stayed at the chicken head's place. Now we've had, 2 generations of women's self-esteem movement and social media made everything global, and where women can just get attention on the internet from a lot of you dusty, weak ass simps and you losers, boosting them up on the internet. Now they walking around here talking greasy all over the internet. There was checks and balances. Women maintained the line. Women didn't do it. Women don't do that no more. Now the sister code and they all join forces and whatever else. I mean, I'll be honest with you. They only join forces out in public. Behind closed door, they'll tell you, I hate that broad. That broad sucks. But now chicken heads is talking greasy. Chicken heads is talking about marriage. Chicken heads is talking about provider man. Provider man? You a hardcore feminist, strong and independent woman. This is 2025. Shit's expensive out here. Not that some men can't afford it, but it's just, well, some men can, but It really now has become all about money. Really, it's about that price gouging. They want the man it's about the men who they're not attracted to, aroused by, and they want him to pay a price to be with them to make up for the fact that they're not attracted to him. So marriage and relationships is now the fourth place prize after these women have burnt out. Because if the feminist older women are telling them don't get married, I think about 21 to 23, they should really have a husband by then. Because what else is out here but to get burnt out? You go pledge fraternity on the campus, what do you think is going to happen to them? Remember, I used to be an athlete. I know what's going to happen, a heavy pounding. So what's left for the husband? Nothing. Nothing is left after the football team, the basketball team, and everybody else that ran through them. So what they're doing is coming back and trying to shame men. Maybe that woman has a degree. Maybe she's a professional now. But she had about 20 bodies on her. And trust me, she's been vigorously and viciously pounded out. And so they try and gaslight men about their value. Man, you're not living up to anything. Man, these dudes ain't getting nothing at the end of the rainbow. And that's why guys like me come in. Because the simps can't shame me. They can't come like, oh, that dude who got the fourth place finish. Oh, look at you, peaceful life. You don't have any women and whatever. But they care about that crap. You know what I mean? Guys like me is what you're getting my hand-me-downs. So we're not worried about you shaming us because I know what you got. Period. And that's really what happens. That's why I don't take these simps that come in here trying to shame men serious. Because I know what they're working with. Trust me, we know these women from back in the days. We can see them on our Facebook accounts, our Instagram. We're like, damn, that dude married her. Ugh. He don't know what happened to her in the past. He's just happy to have somebody to hold him and shit. But he's getting what's left of what every man has ravaged. That's the downside of sexual liberation, feminism and sexual liberation. And these feminists won't tell them that. They like, man, look, I'm on these antidepressant meds. I've had my box blown out. Hell no, I'm not going to let these young women get a better life than me. I ain't telling them about this trauma. Hell no. Because they're competing with the younger version of themselves. Because they're supposed to be off the market a long time ago. So they're like, you know what? And women are, it's jacked up like that. Women can tell you, I'm telling you the truth. Women don't really like other women. They will publicly come together to crucify a man. But that's usually just eliminating the competition. Behind closed doors, they do something different. It's like those women be talking about, I need a man to make $100,000 a year, and I need a man. Man, the dude they sleeping, mook and nug ain't making no 100,000 or what's his name? Brad, whatever the hell the dudes is that they be sleeping with. That dude has been out of work for about 6 months now. But he arouses them. And they're giving him his box, $300 for a date. That dude ain't got no $300. He fill out the application for SSI, trying to get them early benefits. He trying to I'm trying to get some of that SSI. But he's pounding her out. And she's sitting around there eating your expensive dinner, talking to some of these dudes be fools as hell. Listen to that goofy shit. Because these women may go, well, I'm single. No, they're still sexually active. They're still sexually active. Trust me. And the guy's coming over at night. He ain't doing any of that bullshit. So it's all just a bunch of gaslighting, fishing for simps. They go to the church now because they can always say, well, Jesus has forgiven me for my sins. Why can't you? So they're trying to use the religious backdoor. Not that I'm not a hater. Anybody that wants to improve their life. But this is what the problem is. We've gotten to a point where there's absolutely no accountability in the system. And they want to keep shaming men, making that believe that there's some young men that need to do some things in terms of performance side of becoming the best version of themselves. I do agree with that. But I think you need to challenge young men different. If I told young men, look, let's go build an engine or let's go do something, because I've coached young men a lot in the past. And I'm like, they're motivated and driven to do competitive things and do things that building cars and science and technology or just building a house or doing a project, because this is just a natural nature. But I say to you, do this or do that, because the reward at the end of the rainbow is one of these modern women. Shit, man, we're going to have a whole bunch of homeless young men out here, because the value of the box that's out here right now is a homeless man. These women, no matter how educated they are, if they got all them bodies on them, the value of what they have between their leg is the equivalent of what they deserve in a marriage relationship. Is a homeless man. A homeless man is too overqualified for what's out here in these streets. A homeless man is, I'll be like, homeless man, look here, you too qualified for the box that's been given out here. The way these women are racking up bodies out here by the 15% men. So we have a price gouging situation. It's not about gender warfare. What they're charging for what they're offering, it's a bunch of bullshit. And I know bullshit. And once you older dudes and you women knew that them women back in the day would be called chicken heads. But since they got social media platform and they all surgically enhancing themselves, and it's disturbing out here. But anyhow, I'm about to go do my workout. Guys, make sure you hit the video, hit the like button, hit the video. Support the channel, subscribe. But it's just relationship price gouging. They're trying to really get young men that don't have the support of strong fathers and mothers to sign up with women that have been out here getting burnt out. I think the only way really going forward to fix this is you have to go with arranged marriages. You have to go back where families align, come together, and they, because it takes a village. It takes the architecture of structure of culture and village and people with shared values. Because the women, even when they're in relationship, they need support from other women that don't really take part in this mediocrity, wokeness, or that are aligned spiritually with good churches and good family members and have successful situations that respect masculinity, manhood, and good men. You need to have a whole dynamic of families coming together with masculine men doing the vetting of men, and women and traditional women vetting women. There's a whole thing that needs to be fixed socially and culturally, but you can only do that through arranged marriages and things. What's out here right now is debauchery, and they're trying to tell these young men that you have to sign on to these women, these sexually liberated, focus on your career women that are enjoying the liberation out here. It's ridiculous. So that's where I'm at. So anyhow, peace and blessings to you guys. Hit the like button. I'm about to hit this gym.